All right. Hello,
All right,
hello.
we're recording.
Yes.
So it's just Jennifer and I on the call. Unfortunately, our teams couldn't be on tonight, but we still wanted to record this call, and we still wanted to go ahead and talk about what we wanted to talk about tonight because we are really looking to get back into, oh, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Just pull it up. Okay. We're really sorry. My son literally just poured cheese all over the floor. It's all good.
No.
It's all good. It's all good. But we are looking to, yeah, I know you got to clean it up. So, but we're looking to be more consistent with our team calls. And so, but I will say, I'm going to say this, and Jennifer doesn't know I was going to say this, but we should talk about whether or not this is a good time for most people. If it is, then we'll keep it. But we certainly don't want it to be a thing where it's just she and I coming on every Sunday night. So we should talk about that. If you guys are watching this and you're realizing that Sunday nights at 9 really don't work for you, then let's talk about a time that would work better for most of us. Right? Would you agree?
I would agree. Unfortunately, my schedule is very, in the evenings, but maybe we have a group of people who would be better during the day.
Yeah.
And then some who would be better at night. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, I will say this. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it, but there is also, I should mention that there's also an opportunity to be on the Wednesday night team calls with Inspire Empire. As far as I know now, she's doing it every other week. She's not holding every week calls, but every other week. But team calls are just really important in general to be on. I know that is one of the things that I've been really consistent about as a coach, being on team calls. And it's why we want to be consistent with you guys holding team calls. But, if you can't make Sunday nights, hopefully you can make it on Wednesday nights when Kim holds her calls. And, either way, just getting some good information. So
and
making
it creates connection too.
Yeah, it does. It creates connection, and it's information sharing, and it's just a way to stay connected to your business. It's one of the things that I love about this opportunity so much is that you literally can just, pull it up on your phone or on your laptop, or even just call in on the phone and connect with, people on your team and hear what they're talking about. And I don't know, I always come off of a team call like really inspired and jazzed to work my business. So that's the power of these calls. So
yeah, I've talked about getting on Kim's calls and the other calls that are part of being in this business, like the National Wake Up Call.
Yes, the National Wake Up Call.
So I've done a couple of videos in this group where I've talked about those are, if you scroll back to some of the videos that I did, the lives, it tells you all of the different places that you should be checking in, all the groups you should be checking in, and what calls you should be trying to be on. So
yeah, I will say I have been guilty of not getting in my National Wake Up Call lately. But when I have caught the National Wake Up Call, when I have made that a part of my weekly habits, my business has done better. And again,
you're staying in the know.
Yeah, you're staying in the know because they're always talking about like what you need to know for the week. They're always and they've been really good. Like they've been really good lately about not just having the top coaches talk to you on the call, but they've also been talking to newer coaches who are seeing, great growth in their businesses. So there's a lot more, I think, relatability going on with the National Wake Up Calls lately that might have been missing before, but
I agree 100%. I think they're doing a much better job of picking a variety of people and not the same topics over and over again. So the main thing is that, I was going to say, the main thing is if something's on sale, they're going to tell you. If there's a promotion coming up, they're going to tell you. And you can better serve your business by being able to communicate. Hey, every time there's a sale, I go back to all the people that didn't say no, but that weren't ready or money was a problem or whatever. And I go, hey, just wanted to check in, let you know this is the promotion we've got going on this month, or we've got a sale on this program or whatever. And it's a good way to have a touch base to stay in touch with those people that don't, and I've had people 2 years after I first contacted them decide, okay, now's my time. And it was because I sent them a note.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I mean, it's Sunday night, so I don't know when you guys are watching this recording, but National Wake Up Calls are every Monday at 11
or 10 Central.
I was going to say 11 Eastern. And you can catch that. There's like a call-in number. Now they also do like Facebook Live. But if you can't get on the, if you can't listen to it or watch it live, you can listen to the recording all week. And they even have the National Wake Up Call podcast. So you can find all of the backlogs, National Wake Up Calls.
Yeah. And the podcast doesn't get the call until Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Right. So the next day, the replay is Tuesday.
And we'll post the little meme for this week's call after this.
Oh, good. Okay.
That way we can post that in this group, and then people can see the phone number to call back. I have it saved in my phone under National Wake Up Call. I have the phone number for the call to listen live, and then the phone number, the callback number. So even if you come in a half hour late, you can call the callback number and start listening. So
that's awesome. You're so good.
Oh, yeah, well.
All right, so a couple of things we wanted to talk about tonight. First of all, you guys, some of you saw this morning that I posted this passage this is called the John C. Maxwell. Well, John C. Maxwell wrote it, and it's called the Maxwell Daily Reader. And I posted, so today's March 4th, but I actually posted March 3rd's page because I thought it was really great. And a few of you actually responded to it. And I will say that this book is really great. I haven't actually been reading it that much lately, ironically. But I personally, I like to read books where there's a passage for the day. What's that?
Like a devotional.
Yes, exactly. Like a devotional. And I actually have I have several, but this is the only one that I have that is specifically designed for it says 365 days of insight to develop the leader within you and influence those around you. So, whenever I have read something that I thought was really nice, and then I've posted these passages in some sort of coach group, it always speaks to people because, this really is learning how to step into your leadership role as a coach. Because you are leading challengers, and you're hopefully leading other coaches to learn how to work this business and learn how to build a healthier lifestyle and share about it with the people around them. So it's really appropriate. But this is for me in the beginning when my coach was telling me about personal development and how it was important for me to incorporate it into my life. For me, the most digestible format in the beginning was something like this devotional, because it was just one passage that I could read. I didn't have to take too much time out of my day to do it. And there's always nuggets, there's always really good nuggets within these pages because it's just one page. But I will say that, personal development for me has blossomed into other things, and I'm reading other books now. I will also listen to something like the National Wake Up Call, which I actually think counts as personal development.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely counts as personal development. I'll also listen to podcasts when I'm, or an audiobook through my phone when I'm folding laundry or I'm driving my car. There are a lot of different ways that I fit personal development into my life. But this is where it started for me, basically, was just a little bit of time at the beginning of each day. And it still does to this day with a little devotional. So, I just want to read this really quickly because some of you may not have seen it. And I just think it's really great. So it says failing backward versus failing forward. And he writes, look at the way any achiever approaches negative experiences, and you can learn a lot about how to fail forward. Read through these two lists and determine which one describes your approach to failure. So under the column failing backward, if you're failing backward, you're blaming others, repeating the same mistakes, expecting never to fail again, expecting to continually fail, accepting tradition blindly, being limited by past mistakes, thinking I am a failure, and quitting. That's failing backward. Failing forward, you take responsibility, learning from each mistake, knowing failure is a part of progress, maintaining a positive attitude, challenging outdated assumptions, taking new risks, believing something didn't work, persevering. And then he writes, think about a recent setback you experienced. How did you respond? No matter how difficult your problems were, the key to overcoming them doesn't lie in changing your circumstances, it's in changing yourself. That in itself is a process, and it begins with a desire to be teachable. It's huge. If you're willing to do that, then you'll be able to handle failure. From this moment on, make a commitment to do whatever it takes to fail forward. And then there's a little quote that says, maintain a teachable attitude in everything you do today. That just was so good when I read that. And I don't know why I read it this morning. I think because I went to March 4th, but then I saw that I missed March 3rd, and I saw it said something about failing forward. I love the idea of failing forward. And that is definitely not something that I ever even considered when before I ever found coaching. Like I never even heard of the term failing forward. I just thought like failure is something you want to avoid. But the fact is you're never going to be able to avoid failure. There's always going to be something.
And that's very appropriate for me right now, being that after being sick for a full week, I felt like a failure on my food plan because I couldn't eat the food. I felt like a failure on my workout program. All week long, I was in the dumps because here I was so excited. I had gone 40 days without missing a single workout. I don't think I'd ever done that before. And then I get sick, right? And then I wanted to be sticking to this food plan, and I couldn't stick to the food plan. And on top of it, my brand new phone glitched out all week long. Half the time I couldn't even get on it to post. And I'm still dealing with that. But so for me, I felt like this whole week was a failure. So like when you read that, immediately I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this failure? How am I going to respond to this? And how am I going to turn it into failing forwards, and make it relatable to other people? I feel like such a failure when I can't be perfect for my clients.
Mm-hmm. And yet one of the things that I think is so amazing about this opportunity in particular is that we are encouraged not to make it seem like we're perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's really, that whole humanness, and just the fact that we all have those moments in our lives where we feel like a failure or something doesn't go the way we wanted. And I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling of wanting to edit or sort of gloss over the stuff that we're struggling with. And I mean, they don't, it's not, you're not supposed to, there's something I've heard before where it's like, you don't want to share from an open wound, but you still want to share the struggle, because we help so many people by sharing what we struggle with. And when we're feeling like a failure, because think about how many people are where we were, at least where I was with failure, of like being just so afraid to try because of being afraid of failure. Right. But realizing that failure is how we move forward, and it really is, as long as we see it in the right context. So I thought that was really powerful, and that word teachable is so, it really resonated with me, because I've heard so many times, time and time again, how it's so important for every coach who comes into this opportunity to be teachable and to always be willing to learn more.
You never got it figured out.
Nope.
And that's important to know, accept, and be driven to learn more and more and more. Because yes, that not only does that make you teachable, but I mean, even Carl Daikeler, for anybody who doesn't know, you should know who that is. But for anybody who doesn't know, it is the CEO of Beachbody.
He's amazing.
And he is amazing. And I just, he is so much a part of the reason that this company is so important to me. But, you know, he talks about all the time, you know, the never give up, the move forwards, the, you know, keep growing, keep learning, and being teachable. I mean, you know,
you have to, if you ever get to a point where you feel like you figured it all out,
yeah, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. Exactly. Or that you can't learn it, right? Like,
yeah,
everybody can learn this. This is
well,
literally just, you know.
One of the reasons that Beachbody is successful still is because Carl Deichler is teachable. He knows he doesn't, I mean, guy's a multimillionaire. He doesn't have it figured out, and he knows that. And times change, and he knows he has to move with the change. So he's never in the mindset of, but this works.
Yeah.
Right? Instead, he's always going, what's next? What can I learn next? How can I change? How can I grow? How can I become relevant? And that's part of it as well.
And stay relevant.
Yes.
So that was awesome. Yeah. So this is a great reader, and I'm going to start reading it again every morning along with my other devotionals and weave it into my personal development. But personal development has been such a game changer for me. It really has just expanded my mind in terms of what I feel like I'm capable of. All of the things that I used to think stood in my way from being able to dream big and to set scary goals, and just mindset wise, it really is like a mindset, and where just in terms of my energy and understanding that, like, that your mind grows by what it feeds on, basically. There's a quote, and I think I have it in my, so, you know, you really expand so many opportunities in your life, and you particularly expand on this opportunity of being a coach when you engage in personal development, so that you get in the right frame of mind. But it's not just about growing this business. It's about just life skills of being able to go through each day with a positive outlook, and with an outlook of forever learning and forever growing. So
for me, personal development took me from being a very negative, complaining, judgmental person to a joyful, happy, thankful, grateful person. And, you know, a lot of that was, you know, coming to my faith as well. But the point is part of my shtick was that I was such a complainer. I mean, I made fun of myself with that. That was part of who I was. I look back on that and I go,
I can't even imagine you like that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm so grateful to hear you say that. But that is exactly who I was. When I was a kid, my parents used to take bets on how many things I was going to complain about when they picked me up from camp. Aww. I was a negative complainer, judgmental. And it's so funny when you change that mindset, you start to notice how many people in the world just get instantly pissed off about something. And I'm like, why do you want to go into that space? You know, why do you want to go there? So for me, personal development has literally changed everything about who I am. But also I just wanted to say, and I ask you, Vicki, too, the first book I ever read was The Compound Effect. Was that yours too? And I
had read it. I had read another book previous to that, but that was the first real person.
Well, I had read the book The Secret. Someone had given me that, and that was before I started my Beachbody business. And that started me realizing that what I think in here can change my life. Now, you know, that book is, you know, looking back on it now, it's very materialistic. It's about me, you know, what can I get through The Secret, right? But The Compound Effect was the first book that really opened my eyes to the effect of everything that I do. And so, anybody who's watching this who isn't doing personal development yet, that was my first book. That was Vicky's first book.
Great book.
My second book was The Slight Edge, which is very similar to The Compound Effect, but also very good. So either of those two books. Are there any others you would recommend right offhand, like for someone just starting?
The School of Greatness I read from
I know who that guy is.
Lewis Howes.
Yeah.
When I read it at the time, it was really good. I don't really follow him anymore, but I thought it was a great book at the time. And I can't think of any others off the top of my head. I'm really honest. I'll be honest. I'm not very good at finishing books. I'll start a book and then I don't finish it. And
that's a behavior I've been working really hard on too.
Yeah. So I'm still working on that book that we are reading together called High Performance Habits.
Yes.
It's a good book, and when I actually sit down to read it, I get a lot out of it.
Me too.
I'm being really. I'm not being intentional, and that's actually something that I wanted to talk a little bit more about. It's okay.
Sorry, still recovering.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, The Compound Effect is definitely a great book. Another one that's really great is Brene Brown's Gifts of Imperfection. I love that book. I actually listened to it twice on Audible, and it's really more.
That's what I was just gonna say. I got Audible, and now I'm finishing books.
Yeah, no, Audible is great. So Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. I also really loved Darren Aline's Super Life. I thought it was amazing.
Really? I haven't read that.
It is so good. I actually listened to it while I was doing The Ultimate Reset. So that was a really cool experience, because The Ultimate Reset, for anybody who doesn't know, is our 3-week whole food cleanse. Yeah. And Darren Aline was helped create it, formulate it. So to listen to his whole philosophy on all these different factors that make us who we are, and make us, and what would, if we considered all of these, like 6 different factors, if we consider all of these different factors in terms of our overall health, how amazing we would feel. And he literally touched on everything that the Ultimate Reset actually does.
Right.
And it's just incredible. But he goes so, he really loves all the minutia of all the science behind what our bodies do with these nutrients, and he gets so excited about it. It's so cool.
Awesome.
To know that he is the person behind helping to formulate Shakeology makes me so happy, because when you listen to the passion that he has about this amazing machine that is the human body, it really makes it, you really appreciate the fact that that's the person who helped them create that product, because it's phenomenal. So
that's one I need to put on my list. Darren Aline. What's the name of it again?
Super Life.
And then my other 3 that are favorites of mine: The Miracle Morning.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet. I need to read that.
Oh, it's fantastic. I just really loved that book, and it really changed, again, an attitude that I had in my head about mornings, changed it completely. The Go-Giver, for someone who is running a Beachbody business, the Go-Giver will change your perspective on a lot of things, on what you do and why you do it. And then if you're interested in learning more about network marketing and, how you work that business, GoPro. Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, and that's what Beachbody is. It's a network marketing business. So it's different from so many others. But still, in terms of structure, that is how we are structured. So the better we understand, the inner workings of how to capitalize on how this business is structured, the better. So,
and so GoPro is about, network marketing, and then Go-Giver is what we do with our clients. It's why we spend, it's why we don't sell skincare where you sell a product and then you're done. You know, we have challengers and we have people we take care of for years at a time. Go Giver is good about that. And then
that's awesome. So Go Giver, GoPro, and
GoPro, Miracle Morning are probably 3 of my favorites. And they're all pretty quick reads as well, which is good.
The Go Giver and GoPro. Cool. So should I talk really quickly about that other thing?
I'm wondering if we should save that for
another call. I agree.
Yeah.
Maybe totally.
Another call, because I think this one is about personal development, mindset. Yeah. And, you know, maybe we close each with, you know, maybe like a 1-minute sum up of how a way that you found mindset helps you grow your business.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, without having done personal development and without having cultivated the kind of mindset I have now, I would have been stopped dead in my tracks with fear of judgment and what other people might be thinking of me. So what I realized, though, and I will say this, is that there was a journey that I was taking when I started my first program, which was the 21-day fix. And that was listening to Autumn every day, you know, just talk about, just say these things, you know, and I'm brought back to it doing 80-day obsession now, because it's Autumn, but like on, you know,
on steroids.
Level. What'd you say?
Yeah, I said on steroids.
Yeah, I mean,
really on steroids.
No, but in terms of like her motivation factor, like it's reminding me of what it was like when I first started with her and the 21-day fix and the things she was saying in there and how it was resonating with me, and how, you know, she's taking it to a whole new level in an 80-day session. And it's really, really enjoyable for me because I find so many of the things that she says so powerful and so meaningful. And it really is all about mindset and
personal development workout program.
Yeah. Well, and so engaging in, well, that's actually funny. I mean, when I think about it, you know, I mean, personal development is super important. And one of the things that I've learned to do that really helps me is I wake up early every morning. And my hope is that I'm waking up before my kids. Sometimes my kids are up with me, unfortunately, but for the most part, I'm waking up at about 5:30 in the morning, go have my coffee. Actually, one thing that I learned during the compound effect is what is like one small thing you could do, like tiny, almost like seemingly what's one seemingly insignificant thing you could do in your life that would make a big difference? And I thought to myself, cleaning my coffee pot at night before I go to bed and setting up my coffee. And I wasn't doing that. So I was like, you know, that's one thing I could do that would make such a huge difference. And what can I tell you? Waking up at 5:30 in the morning to the smell of coffee, having already freshly brewed, has made such a big difference in my life, because I get out of bed much easier now. And then I take the time, and I take about 15 minutes to do some personal development. It's usually these devotionals, right? And that's before I get on social media. It's before I do anything. It's before I check in with my groups, because it really, really helps me to get in the right frame of mind for tackling my day. And so that's one of the ways that personal development helps me in my personal life, but it also super helps my business, because again, without personal development, I didn't think I would ever have been able to get out of my own way in terms of my willingness to share about my journey, you know, because that's really what it comes down to, is being willing to share about our journeys, no matter where we are, no matter what's going on, if we're sick, if we've fallen off, if we screwed up somehow, or if we're doing amazing, because that's another thing, is like, you know, you don't want to seem like you're, you know, look at me, but you want to know something. Personal development and taking hold of this opportunity has helped me to understand that it would be actually really selfish for me to keep this to myself.
Right.
And I learned that pretty early on. And so, yeah, personal development helps because I'm never going to always be in that same mindset, right? There's always going to be fear, doubt, and insecurity that try and creep into my life somehow for whatever reason. But personal development really helps me to stay in that frame of mind that that I love what I do, I love how I feel, and everybody that I know or will come to know or connect with needs to know about this opportunity and to know that they can feel this way too. So that's it.
Well, and for me, I would say, and I already mentioned that personal development has completely changed who I am. I mean, my husband will tell you, I am a different woman than the woman he married. I look like a little older, but I look like the woman he married, but I am a different person and I treat things differently. And, a perfect example is, I used to have anger issues as well. And, when my daughter was a teenager and she would come at me because I said, you say one thing to your teenager and they act like you just told them they're, short, fat, and ugly, right? And really all you said was, would you please say thank you when someone hands you something? They go, you just told me I'm rude, right? And that would have turned into a knockdown, drag out, blow up argument. We had a conversation at dinner this weekend, my son and I, and it was starting to go that way, right? And my husband came in and made a joke, and I would have been mad at my husband for doing that, still fighting with my son, and I would have been angry, and everybody would have been in a fight. And instead, I went ahead and laughed with my husband, turned it into a joke sort of to my son, and we all ended up laughing together. And I just sat there after that and I went, this is what's different. Everything is different because it's almost kind of that don't sweat the small stuff. I got my point across to him for what I was talking about to him. And he started getting defensive and, you telling me I'm awful, right? And even though, of course, that wasn't what I said. And we were able to turn it into, he heard me, we're going to laugh about this. And it's those kinds of things that have changed in my life, along with the fact that I have been able to, even through my embarrassment or, I still get embarrassed when I post pictures, but I know that I have a secret, quote unquote, to help people feel better. And I want to share it. It's like me sharing my faith. I want to share my faith because to me, that's like, this is the secret to life here, guys, and I want you to know about it because I love you. That's what it comes down to. I want to share about Beachbody and Shakeology to you because I love you and I want this for you, not because I want your business, not because I want your money, because the fact that I get to earn a living doing it is bonus. Awesome. And I'd like to keep doing that. So then you add in the opportunity for actually coaching and being able to share that same joyful secret with others, right? So
pay it forward.
Yes. And that's what personal development has done for me. It has changed everything for me. So I have it going on in my ears all day long, and of some sort, whether it's the National Wake Up Call or Audible or YouTube videos learning about nutrition, or soon as I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is put headphones on and I find some sort of YouTube morning motivation, so I'm starting my day going, yes, I can do this, right?
That's awesome.
So, and
you should, would you be willing to post some of the YouTube motivational things that you find?
Oh, sure. I'll share. Yeah, I'll share in here. Yeah.
That would be great. Maybe we can make can we make a video album? I don't know if we can.
I don't know.
Oh, no. Let's see if we can do that, because it would be nice if we could have a place in our coach group where all of those videos could go.
What we can do is you make the album and I can screenshot the YouTube video picture. Then in the description for the photo, I can put the link to the video.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What everybody needs to know when you go to that album, and I'll start working on that tomorrow. When you go to that album, you click on the picture, and then you have to click on the, you know, the link will be in the description for the picture. So,
I mean, seriously, Jennifer, you don't even have to like seriously, like the next time you are listening to one of those YouTube things, and if it's good, just screenshot it and then put it, you know, so, you know, let it be a daily thing. Don't feel like you have to throw in a ton right up off the bat. Just start sharing that.
No problem, because, you know, it's one of those things that's just like, because first of all, as soon as I open my eyes, you know, thank you God for this day. And, you know, thank you for this comfy bed. Thank you for this pillow. Thank you for my puppy who's licking my face. Boom. Thank you for, you know, thank you that my alarm is going off. Thank you that I have a snooze button. Thank you. Whatever it is. Thank you for this toothbrush, because man, my breath needs it. You know, but those first 5 minutes when you wake up, you know, I mean, all those people out there who say, I'm not a morning person, you know, why would you start your day that way? You know,
yeah, there's a phrase I've heard, you know, instead of waking up and saying, good God, it's morning, wake up and saying, good morning, God, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
It's really just about perspective. And I think that personal development really basically has helped me to have a whole new perspective on my life. So that it's, you know, so much has changed actually in my life. I was about to say, you know, nothing has changed. Actually, a ton has changed in my life. But the reason why I'm able to approach it the way I do is because of the perspective I have now on life, because of the kinds of personal development that I've read, and just the perspective I have on life now, and gratitude. I mean, it all really comes down to gratitude, and being able to have that shift and recognize that we have choices. Like, you can choose to be miserable.
Yes.
You can choose to be happy. You know, and it's not to say that life is all easy and that it's always supposed to be easy. That's actually not the point. You're always going to be confronted with fear. You're always going to be confronted with doubts, insecurity, and all these things. I mean, and actually, Beachbody coaching really does bring all of that to the surface, because it is such a vulnerable state. And so what personal development does is say, all right, so you can't expect to not have hard days, right? You can't expect to not come up against fear. It's how do you handle it? It's how do you
stay there?
And how long do you stay there? Exactly. And just knowing that you have choices, like, you know, so you're going to choose to feed into those fearful thoughts. Are you going to choose to train, you know, to train negative and to stay going that way? Or are you going to have the mind, you know, you have the wherewithal, right? And the cognition to realize, oh, wait, I don't have to go there.
Right.
I can go there. And just being able to make the shift, and it takes time, but that's why we do personal development.
It takes practice. You know, I mean, you get the body because you work out every day,
right?
You know, you get the inside health because you drink your shake every day. You know, you want the positive brain, you got to put positive things into it every day. And when I was sick last week, sorry, last week, still today a little bit. One of the things that really changed and made it very hard for me, and I did a little bit of a self-pity party some this week, was every morning when I woke up, I fully expected to be totally better, and I wasn't. And I would get so discouraged because I wasn't better. And every day for several days went a bad way. And it was partly because I started the day discouraged. So so, you know, even I, after, you know, 2.5 years of changing my life and my world and everything in my mind, still can fall into that, but I know it now.
Yeah.
Even when I was in it, I knew it, and I knew I needed to come out of it. And so slowly but surely, I came out of it, and, you know, I mean, I'm in a much better place now. I'm still coughing, but I'm almost done with that. But it's like you said, you choose whether you're going to be in a good place or not. Just like, you can choose to get frustrated because the person in front of you in the grocery line has a bunch of coupons and now they're going to take forever to go through the line, right? Or you can choose to say, I'm here right now, and I'm just going to be grateful that this person is saving money.
Right.
They may need to save money. They may have medical treatments. They may have kids to pay for. They may,
And you could even take those 5 minutes and get on your phone and do a little social media post.
That's right.
That's the other great thing. You can always find a little time to work. That's in.
Right. So,
all right. Well, I think this was a great call. I'm glad that we did it. And, let's do this. Let's do this every week. If it's going to stay Sundays, then we'll keep it Sundays.
Yeah.
But,
maybe
being able
to put a poll.
Yeah. Yes. But being able to speak to you guys about these important things, these really basic things. I mean, personal development is one of the 4 vital behaviors, is something that we need to be doing as leaders. And it's obviously something that both of us love to talk about. So
yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, Jennifer. I love you. And I hope you feel better.
Thank you. And I'm grateful that your vacation's done. My vacation's done. My sickness is done.
Yeah.
And we're back on track and getting ready to move forward. It's March.
Yes, it's March. All right. We'll talk. We'll obviously have some other things that you guys want to check out in the group, but for now, this is our team call for the night. So thanks for watching.
All righty. Bye.
All right. Bye.